On this week's FPL Happy Hour.
Green arrow then? Must have been.
Green arrow.
Yeah.
Small green arrow, yeah.
Where's that put you overall now?
430.
Moving up, catching up.
Moving up. Catching up bit by bit, mate.
Yeah.
Catching up bit by bit.
Maybe by game week 40 you'll be ahead.
Okay, week 40. Hello and welcome to episode number 6 of our podcast FPL Happy Hour with me, Sham, otherwise known as FPL 2 Guys 1 Cup on Twitter.
And myself, Rob, otherwise known as FPL Panda.
Rob, how are you doing this evening?
Bit tired, but yeah, excited about the confusion that's about to happen, which we're going to try and decipher in the next hour.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're 90 minutes after the we're at 90 minutes going into extra time of the Everton and Tottenham game. It's currently 4-4. We're going to record some of the episode and then pause and then find out who gets through. And at the end, we'll be able to then tell you what the doubles look like in a much better position. You will obviously all hear this seemingly. So yeah, hopefully. Well, let's get started. First, we will go through our teams last week. Then we'll answer a few Twitter questions, and then we'll talk about double game week and strategy ahead, followed by our usual 5v5. So let's talk about our teams first. How did you get on last week?
Started off, I was really excited about my start. But then it kind of just petered away as the week went on, and then obviously the big mistake was benching Gundogan. Yeah, that was horrible. But yeah, it started well with the Martinez clean sheet, and he racked up the BPS as well. There was what else was there? The West Ham game, Soufal with his clean sheet, but then Souček with the that dodgy red card.
Yeah,
He's happily, well, deservedly had taken off of him. Then Fernandez returned captain, which is perfect. And then Sunday happened. It was like I was sitting with a massive green arrow after Saturday, and then Sunday was just it was a horrible watch, really. Like with the news that Kane was back, I knew I was in trouble. And Son and Kane both returned. And then in the Leicester game, I was expecting something from Barnes, and yeah, just the 3 points from him. And the Liverpool game was just an absolute horror show for me. Yeah, just nothing went right at all. Apart from I was happy when Gundogan missed the penalty, like jumping around.
yeah, I saw that. I was happy with. I have a similar situation to you.
And yeah, I was really happy with that. And then he proceeded to punish my happiness and left me absolutely fucked for the game week. And then, like on Monday, like I was thinking, oh, Bamford return should give me like a grey or a small green arrow. The fact that Dallas returned as well and absolutely hauled, it was because of Dallas's ownership. It just meant I was in absolute just dire straits, to be honest. 62 points, massive red arrow.
Was it a massive red arrow? What did you go from to?
Went from 220k to 270.
Well, that's not huge. It's like 20%, right? It's not massive.
I was at 150 on Saturday night.
Wow, okay.
But it just shows I think more than anything, it just shows how tight it is.
Yeah.
Like especially between, say, 100 and 300k.
Yeah.
I think it's probably only like 10 points probably in it. So yeah, just need a couple of big weeks, and then you're back there, like looking at the top 100k again.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's just after that really nice run of green arrows, it was a bit disheartening to then have 2 red arrows that probably feel bigger than they should do.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a disastrous week, but yeah, not amazing. What about yourself? I know you've got Gundogan on
Um,
the bench as well.
yeah, so I finished on 70 points. I had a small green arrow from 460 to 430, I think. I had Gundogan on the bench as well, and I'm blaming Shez for this one because I had him starting, and then I go to Shez last minute. I was like, Barnes or Gundogan? He was like, start Barnes. And I was like, fuck's sake. All right. So I swapped him. It's my own fault anyway. Took a punt on Antonio captain, like you. Didn't pay off. Fernandez would have been my captain, an extra 5 points, not the end of the world. I'm glad, though, I didn't bench DCL. So, I mean, DCL was never, I was never going to bench him. It was always Barnes versus Gundogan, but a lot of people did did bench Barnes, DCL. So yeah, I was pleased that I wasn't one of them. Robbo sitting on my third sub, so he was never intended to use to come on. I'll be getting rid of him this week for Tarkowski or me probably. But yeah, Monday night was good with Dallas and Bamford, 18 points. Couldn't really ask for much more than that. So yeah, 70 points overall.
It's
So
a green arrow then. Must be.
green arrow,
Yeah.
small green arrow. Yeah.
Where's that put you overall now?
430.
Moving up, catching up.
Moving up, catching up bit by bit, mate.
Yeah.
Catching up bit by bit.
Maybe by game week 40 you'll be ahead.
Okay, week 40. Right. Let's move on.
I'll just clip that now for the intro. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, let's move on. Let's go with our Twitter questions. We've got so for our topics this week, we thought let's take a little bit longer and talk about the double game week stuff going on over the next few weeks, because essentially we could potentially have 4 double game weeks in a row. 24, 25 we know is double game week, 26 we know, and 27 potentially as well. So we'll talk about what teams might have the doubles, what teams to target, what teams to get rid of. But we'll wait until after the Everton and Tottenham game for that. So, okay, let's answer some of your questions. So we had one from FPL Dan. Which City defender for the long term, Cancelo or Diaz?
I prefer Diaz, but then I've got him.
Oh, Everton winning 5-4.
5-4 Everton. Wow. Yeah, I think Cancelo. It's just a matter of the rotation, but Pep has shown that he's happy to play Cancelo on the left-hand side rather than on the right if he wants to play Walker. But down, like in the last couple of weeks, he's shown that he also likes playing Laporte on that left-hand side, which then frees up Cancelo to become more attacking, because then like Cancelo can bomb forward and play as almost as a midfielder, and Laporte just sits there in a free at the back with Diaz and Stones. Yeah, in the long term, I think I'd go Diaz, because I think you're guaranteed for him to be starting. Like no matter what, I think his form this season has just been out of this world.
Yeah, I think it really depends on what type of FPL manager you are. Are you the risk averse FPL manager, or are you the go hard or go home.
Hmm.
For me, I'm the go hard or go home. So for me, it's Cancelo, which is why I've got Cancelo and Stones, and I don't have Diaz. I prefer Cancelo because he can haul big time. He's more likely to haul than Diaz is. Diaz will chip in with the odd goal here or there, or the odd assist here or there, or whatever from a corner. That's going to happen. But Cancelo consistently has shots on target,
Yeah.
and shots that should be going in. You know, like we saw in the game where he got 17-pointer. I think it was a goal, assist, and a clean sheet. And that, you know, the way that he plays, that could happen every week, and I'm not even joking. Like the way that it's not like it's a one-off. You know, Stone's got the 2 goals in a double game week, and he's probably never going to get 2 goals in a game again in his life, let alone the season. Whereas I would not be surprised if on at least what you've got, how many game weeks left? 15 game weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if on at least 4 occasions Cancelo hauls. I wouldn't be surprised. It just wouldn't surprise me. But it's whether or not he starts. And that's the problem.
Yeah. I although he's starting a lot more now, which means that Pep is like more like he's happier with him, and he likes the way that they play when he's there.
Yeah.
Because they obviously, when they're missing that creativity at the moment from De Bruyne, they need more creative players, and that's why I think that's been a detriment to Kyle Walker, that Cancelo is the more creative player. So he gets played ahead of Walker because they need that creativity. It's me personally, I like to take the risks on the differentials rather than on your like solid your foundation really. So yeah, I'd be more inclined to go Diaz and then take the risk on someone else. But yeah, one way can work at some occasions, the other way can work on others. It's like swings and roundabouts, isn't it? It's how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Right.
mean, I wouldn't be going Cancelo anyway. I've got Stones and Diaz. I'm not going to go for the triple up. I want that easy route back to De Bruyne when I can.
Okay. Next question is from at Hefty Horse. Is it time to hop off United assets for a while?
The tumbleweed.
Yeah. No is the answer. If anything, it's time to hop on United assets, or not buy United assets, but definitely not hopping off. In my opinion, you've got West Brom, Newcastle, and then a double. You shouldn't be getting off United assets now. Maybe after 26, then you can reassess. But definitely not now.
Yeah, I mean, we
So
know
you might potentially want to get one more.
Yeah, I mean, we know that they won't be playing in 29, so I probably wouldn't go as far as getting 3 United players, but I want 2 for 26. And with their fixture this week against West Brom, and then it's followed up with Newcastle at home, then it's very likely, like it's more than a 95% chance that they'll double against Chelsea and Palace in 26. Like I'd happily either get Luke Shaw or Wan-Bissaka in, or get Rashford. Everyone will have Bruno. If you haven't got Bruno, get him in, like now, before this pod is finished. But yeah, if you've got Bruno, if you want to get Wan-Bissaka or Shaw, one of them two, or I'd go Rashford. And I know a couple of people have asked me about McTominay, and I still wouldn't. I wouldn't say the Scottish Iniesta is an important fancy asset yet. He just seems to pop up. He just seems to pop up at the right times. He makes those late runs to the edge of the box, and the ball just happens to go to him, and he can strike a football really well. The amount of times we've seen him score from that, like the spot that he did last night. So it's for me, it's Rashford, Wan-Bissaka, or Shaw and Fernandes moving forward. And I'd love to be able to say jump on Cavani, but like for the double, I think he'd probably start against Chelsea, and then Martial will start against Palace. I don't think he'd start both, and I think at the moment it's going to be very much rotated between Martial and Cavani because it looks like Greenwood's pretty much locked in on the right wing now. He's he hasn't been scoring, but he's looked a lot better in the last few weeks, and I think it gives a nice balance to the forward line because he's good on that right hand side, whereas Rashford and Martial have been pretty ineffective over on that side. I'd love to be able to say go and buy Cavani, but just can't. Otherwise, he'd be straight in my team this week.
I am thinking about bringing him in though for Antonio.
I think it's way again. It's like the question about Diaz and Cancelo. I think it's weighing up that risk. But do you want to take that risk with a forward that if he starts on the bench, he is going to come on. Like if United are 0-0 or 1-0 down, he will come on, but he might not return.
Mm.
And even if it's like 1-2, 3-0, he might even just come on for like the last 10 minutes just for a warm down. And I think you're running that risk. I think you're running the risk more so with Cavani than you are with Cancelo. Which is a shame really because he's still top class.
Yeah.
I think it's whether he's got the legs to go in the English game week in, week out, or whether Ole believes he's got the legs to go in, week out in the English game.
Right. Final question is from Shez, who asked us last night: is a bench boost in game week 24 viable? Well, I'll be honest with you, Shez. After watching the games tonight, Everton and Spurs, and the Leicester game, you might not have any players on your bench left to play. I mean, I don't know what your bench is, but DCL looks like he's injured. Apparently, Diaz is ill. Justin went off injured, so it depends what team that you have. Otherwise, if there is no injuries, initially I was against it, but it really does make sense. So he said that he was looking to wildcard in 28, and he wants a kind of a strong team of 11 to wildcard. And at the moment, he's kind of got a lot of bench players. So he was saying if I bench boost in 24, then I can go for a strong team in game week 25. That kind of makes sense. And his bench boost, I think he was saying last night, was like Bamford and Dallas, and I can't remember who else, but it's not a bad side. I don't know. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, I think it's weighing it up.
I'll definitely wait. Sorry, one thing to add. I would definitely wait until you know the complete outcome for all the double game weeks.
Yeah, I think if we get an announcement, like I expect there to be an announcement on mid-afternoon Friday. I think that's when was it? Was it last week or the week before? We got the announcements of this week's double game week fixtures that came through, and that was like 3 or 4 o'clock on the Friday afternoon. So I expect 3 or 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon, we will have a fixture announcement from the Premier League. It might not happen, but I'd expect it to happen. It could be that it happens on Monday. Like if it doesn't happen on Friday, it's not going to happen till Monday, Tuesday. But I expect that because they've got all of that information there, that they'd be contacting the clubs, like the clubs from yesterday, so United and Palace, they'd have made contact. They've probably rearranged the game already. And then, for today's games, they'll probably sort that all out tomorrow. And then they'll just be tomorrow evening's games or this evening's games, because everyone will be watching it Thursday. They'll just have to sort out the arrangements. And I'm pretty sure that by Friday lunchtime, mid-afternoon, we'll have the announcement, and that's really helpful moving forward with your plan from 24, 25, and 26, and then moving forward on from that into 29. You might decide that 26 lineup, you've actually got a better chance if you transfer the right players in 24 and 25. You've got a better chance of having more double game week players than you have for your bench boost this week, because you could walk away with, if you've got a bench full of double game week players and they blank for the double game week, it's still 4 points per player. But if it's a single game week and they blank, there's no second chance on it. Whilst you get that, you kind of get that. That's why I like bench boosting with a double game week and with a big double game week, because you've got that buffer of, if they blank in the first game, you've got another 90 minutes for them to produce for you. It didn't happen this year when we both bench boosted a few weeks ago, but this was the other 26 is the other big double, and I'd want to see the fixtures and how my team would look in 26 before I pulled the trigger on the bench boost for 24. Because if you can get to 26 and have more players, like have 12, 13 players that are double game weekers, then you'd be silly not to bench boost then, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so that was the only questions that we have. So the Everton game is just finished and Everton have won. And what a game that was. What that now means is Rob is going to talk you through who's got the doubles, what that means, and, I guess a plan of who to hop on, or hop off, and who to hop on. So, Rob, the floor is yours, my friend. No pressure.
So I think the first thing we need to say is this is conjecture, but it's all highly likely. We obviously won't get confirmation until Friday, like I said earlier. But we can generally now see what the outline of 26 is looking like. So we'll start with the teams that we're pretty we got the fixture nailed as to who they are. So probably we'll go through them in the order that I'd want to look at the assets. So you've got United, who have got Chelsea and Palace both away. At the moment, my FDR's got it as 20, which is basically the same as them playing Burnley in a single game week. So it's a fairly decent double game week. It kind of backs up my what we said about hopping on the United assets, about Bruno and Rashford. It's probably not a triple captain option there, purely because of the Chelsea fixture. Chelsea look a lot stronger since Tuchel's come in, but they could be back to being shit again by game week 26.
Yep. Who's next?
And then you've got Palace. Their double game week is then Fulham and Man United. I think
I wouldn't be looking at any Palace options personally.
No. The Fulham fixture would probably tempt people, but yeah, it's not something. The only Palace player you'd want to look at is Zaha, and is he injured at the moment?
He is.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a Palace is a no-go. Leicester have got Arsenal and Burnley. Arsenal at home, Burnley away.
It's not bad fixtures.
I think at the moment, out of like the fairly nailed-on fixtures, and my FDR has got it as ranked as a 27 fixture, which is one of the top that we've had for the season. It's making me second guess my move this week, which was to get rid of Barnes. I might just bench him this week, and then I probably wouldn't mind playing him against Villa, but in that in week 26, it's actually a very tasty option. If I don't have Barnes, then I'll be looking at bringing Vardy in, I think. And like we've just seen DCL's, he went off injured earlier. If that injury is there, then maybe jumping on Vardy sooner rather than later. I've got 2 free transfers as well, which I wouldn't mind going Barnes to someone and then DCL to Vardy. But yeah, it's something to ponder over the next sort of 48, 72 hours up until the 24 deadline. I kind of want a clear plan moving into 26 and then beyond 26 by this deadline. I think this deadline's probably now become one of the most important of the season, and it will be for a lot of people. I think if you get your moves right this week,
can set you up quite well.
It can set you up really well moving forward.
Right. So who's next?
That's Leicester. Now we've got Man City. Now this is a bit more complicated. So they've got a fixture in the bank from COVID. I think it was at Christmas when they had their fixture against Southampton postponed. So as far as I can see it, at the moment, City are playing West Ham at home and Wolves at home in 26. This is on top of their double of 24. Now, if Southampton beat Wolves tomorrow night or tonight in the FA Cup, then they will play Southampton in 26, and the Wolves fixture gets moved to 27. If not, then it will be the other way around. So
they could basically have Wolves or Southampton. So they will definitely have a double, but we're not sure if it's Wolves or Southampton as well as West Ham.
Yep, but whoever they don't play in 26 as their second game, they will have that as their double in 27, which is when they've got Man United at home in their first game. So you've got the potential of
3 double game weeks in 4.
Yeah, because then they've got 24 against Spurs and Everton, 25 against Arsenal, 26 against West Ham and Wolves or Southampton, 27 against Man United, Wolves or Southampton, and then you follow that up and they've got Fulham in 28. So it's a huge.
Can we get 10 Man City players? Do you know?
I don't know. Should we appeal to FPL Towers? Excuse me.
Although 5 of them will probably be benched. Right. So who's next?
So Everton. Now we've seen this evening. We've seen DCL go off injured and Luca Dean go off injured. and their double in 26 is likely to be Southampton and either Villa or West Brom. Now, if it was Southampton at home and West Brom away in 26, that's a huge double game week.
Yeah.
That's absolutely massive. And if DCL is injured, that then gives me, I might have to go to Richarlison, who a couple of weeks ago I was saying don't go to when DCL was coming back.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you need some attacking coverage, and yeah, it's something that like we should know on. I don't know when the next press conference is with Ancelotti. Whether it'll be on Saturday. Hopefully it's early morning on Saturday before the deadline. It'd be really nice to know what the status is with Calvert-Lewin before deadline, and and a yes or a no, like is he out for a long time? Because they've got this week they've got their double against Fulham and City. Then they've got 26 against Southampton, Villa or West Brom. Whoever they don't play in that second game in 26, they could potentially play in a double for 25 or 27 or 28. And I think it's more likely they'll move it into I think maybe more likely they'll move it into 27 to get it out, just get it out the way. But again, for Everton, that's 3 double game weeks in 4, which it's a huge like miss if their 2 top assets are gone, and like their next most creative players probably James, who you couldn't rely on for a double game week. What do you think about Everton? Probably the same.
Exactly the same as you, mate. The problem is, I don't think we're going to hear an either way about DCL. So it's going to be a difficult one.
Yeah, it'd be nice if there was just some form of, like, it weren't a press conference, just some form of injury news tomorrow, like saying he's gone for a scan.
Yeah.
Something like, because if it's he's gone for a scan, it might be a case of time, like you're gonna have to sell him. And at least if you sold him and went to Richarlison, you know that Richarlison will still start if DCL starts, and he scored tonight. He scored a good goal tonight.
Right, who's next?
So next up, Burnley.
Tottenham and Leicester, right?
Yeah, so they'll play Tottenham and Leicester. I mean, that's
so. Just in terms of, let me just say something quickly on Burnley. So I'm likely to get Tarkowski or me and Pope. Pope will probably be for Johnston, and that means in 24 they'll have Palace, Fulham, 25 West Brom, 26 Tottenham and Leicester. Now they'll probably lose to Tottenham and Leicester, but I don't mind having Pope there for that.
You could potentially still come out with 3 points, like save. Like he might get 1 or 2 save points.
I've also got Martinez as well, and they've got well, you're going to tell me who they've got, but they've got a double as well, probably. It's difficult because I know a lot of people are going to be buying Burnley defenders for this weekend. I don't know if I would start a defender against Tottenham and Leicester, but I don't see, Pope will get save points, so I don't see that as an option. I can always bench Burnley defender if I need to. Right, Villa's next, is that right?
Yes, so Villa, it's one of, we know that they're going to double. So they've got
Because
3
they've got
games.
loads to catch up on, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got 3 games in the bank. They've got Spurs at home, Everton home, and Sheffield United away, all in the bank. Now we know if Southampton beat Wolves, it's very probable that Spurs versus Villa will be in 29. Because Spurs will have the blank, Villa will have a blank. It makes sense to put that rearranged fixture in there if Southampton beat Wolves. So that leaves us with, they'll either have Everton or Sheffield United in 26. Now potentially either of those fixtures could still be arranged for 25, or any of the 3 could be arranged for 27 or 28. Now, any of the 3 can be arranged for 27 or 28 if Spurs get knocked out of the Europa League by Wolfsburg. But so let's say that Spurs go through in Europa League. So I'd think that makes it even more likely that game week 29 is Spurs versus Villa, and 26 will be against Sheffield United, and either 27 or 28 will be against Everton for Villa.
Okay.
Either way, you're getting, in the next 5 game weeks, you're very likely to get 3 doubles.
So those are all the doubles that we definitely know of. Then there's a few that are likely double game weekers. So that's West Brom are likely to have a double game week against Birmingham and Everton.
Brighton.
Brighton and Everton, not Birmingham. Where have I got Birmingham from? WHA, that's BHA.
Is it
Birmingham.
2008 again?
Yeah, I know.
Birmingham in the Premier League.
Yeah, Wolves are likely to have a double against Newcastle and City. Liverpool are likely to have one against Chelsea and Sheffield United. Is that right? Yeah.
As long as Barnsley don't pull off like
Knockout.
the shock of the century. Yeah.
And Chelsea against Man U and Liverpool. These are obviously less likely. So we're using Ben Krellin's spreadsheet. So that's at Ben Krellin, who's the double game week master. And based on his percentages, those 4 teams have got a 65 to 85% chance of having a double game week. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think there's much to talk about with regards to the blank 29s in terms of just because we're not fully sure exactly what the situation is yet until the FA Cup games tomorrow. The only thing that we are definitely sure of is of the teams that will play. So who are the teams that will definitely play in 29?
29. So you've got Leeds, who obviously double next week in 25.
But won't double in 26.
But they will not double in 26, and they haven't got any in the bank.
Yeah.
We'll have Fulham, obviously, who double in 25, but then won't double anywhere else.
You mean 26, they double, not 25? They double in 24.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Then we've got West Ham, who, no doubles, and tough fixture run. Probably the last tough
fixture.
The last tough fixture run of the season. Like after this, like the next, it's probably sort of the time when you could jump off West Ham now to attack the doubles and then jump back on them at 29.
Yeah.
Like take a -4, bring your Soufals, your Součeks, your Antonios back, your Lingardinhos in, And then, yeah, I think I'm leaning towards now with how tonight's mapped out. Instead of moving Barnes out, looking at moving Souček out this week. Even though it's a good fixture against Sheffield United, it might not be set up for him. But again, I might want to see the team news. If Antonio's not playing, there's a strong chance that Souček's going to be pushed forward a little bit more, isn't there? Like he was when Antonio was injured. So it's one to watch. Arsenal, again, they haven't got the best fixtures over the next 4 or 5 weeks. They play Leeds, City, Leicester, then they've got Burnley, and then they've got Spurs. And I think by then Spurs could be like they look like they're gradually working towards Kane getting back to full fit. Once Kane's at full fitness, Spurs are a threat again. And by then, and it's the derby, isn't it? So yeah, I don't think I want any Arsenal players. Maybe at 29. If I'm strapped for cash and I need a player, then it might be Smith Rowe coming in. Then you've got Newcastle against Brighton Hove Albion.
Birmingham.
Not Birmingham. St. Maximin?
Yeah, as an option, potentially.
For 29.
Birmingham
Wilson
are playing better at the moment, though. Than Brighton.
Wilson, probably as well.
If he's not injured.
If he's not injured. It could be like Newcastle at home as well. Oh no, Newcastle are away. It could be a game. Like I think St. Maximin running at that Brighton defence could be quite scary for them. So it might be one to watch that. And then that's it for the moment. Unless if we get
Tottenham.
Spurs Villa is it's likely if Southampton beat Wolves, we really
they'll definitely have a fixture though in 29.
They'll either play Villa or Southampton.
Yeah.
In 29, and
Villa would be better from a planning point of view.
Villa would be better, but from
Southampton's the easier fixture.
But then I think if you had Spurs versus Villa, I think the captaincy will be really spread out. If it's Spurs against Southampton,
it's all going to be on Kane or Son, right?
Yeah, like if that fixture is Spurs versus Southampton, I'm probably bringing in both of them at 26, and I'll have them at least till my wild card in 30.
Yeah.
Because I think you're going to have them anyway, but you probably wouldn't get both of them if they were blanking.
Well, we're going to have a much better idea of exactly the fixtures by next week. So on next week's pod, we'll kind of do another little breakdown where we'll have a much better idea, because obviously there's a lot of we're not sure of ifs, buts, maybes, especially around potential double game weeks in 27 and maybe even in 28 as well. So do listen out for that, and we'll kind of break it down. Is there anything else that you want to add on that bit, Rob?
No. Is it a good time to mention what's happening next week on the pod?
Yeah, we can do. So on next week's pod, and actually this is pretty apt because outside of Ben Crellin, he's the one person that knows his shit when it comes to strategy, and that's the very own James from Planet FPL. And seeing as myself and Rob are both patrons of Planet FPL, and that's how we met, and that's how we formed this pod. We thought that we would invite our first guest to our pod, and that being James. And he has kindly agreed to join us, and he will be joining us next week. So we're looking to pod next Tuesday evening, and it will be out for you on Wednesday. And no doubt we will be talking about all the strategy. I know that they're bringing out a pod on Friday talking about it, but I'm sure we'll probably talk about it again on Tuesday, and probably by Tuesday we'll have a much better idea of exactly what the fixtures look like. So yeah, James will be joining us next week. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think next week, rather than we probably won't do topics, we'll probably just ask the questions on strategy and some general questions for James. Just for those that if you haven't come across Planet FPL, I don't know where you've been.
Yeah.
But yeah, for those that maybe haven't come across Planet FPL, and James and Serge might be an opportunity to ask them and ask James and get his opinion on some things. But yeah, it'll be a perfect opportunity to really dive into how we're going to play out 25, 26, 27, 28 and 29, because hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have the whole lot set in stone. Very unlikely, but it'd be really nice if the Premier League got their shit together and gave us all of the information we need for the next sort of 4 or 5 weeks. So yeah, it'll be a good one.
Perfect. Right, let's move on then to our 5v5. And last week, mate, you won.
What was that? Sorry.
So...
Can you repeat that for the people at the back of the room?
Last week you won.
Yes.
And
what
makes you 3-2 up. I don't know what the score was. I know you won. You scored 30, didn't you?
Yeah, I got 30 points with it was the who did I have that got me loads of points? Oh, Son, Salah, Adams, Sufal.
Yeah.
I
think I wasn't. I mean, I was a bit. So I had Bruno and Cash and Rafinha, Mendy, Antonio. I think it was like 23 points. I think I got.
So it's a high score compared to a couple of weeks ago when it was like 15-8 or something like that.
Yeah. Right. So for those that don't know, I will pick 5 players, and Rob will pick 5 players based on his transfer algorithm. And we can only pick 1 player from each team, maximum of 1 from each team. 1 player owned less than 20%, 1 less than 10, and 1 less than 5. 1 goalkeeper, 1 defender, 2 midfielders, and 1 attacker. And it's a draft style, so we cannot pick the same player twice. Right, I need to get a coin. I haven't got a coin.
You haven't got a coin. I haven't either.
Right, give me 1 second. Yeah, I've got my coin now.
You got your coin.
Yeah, I got my coin.
So for the people listening, it actually just took him 20 minutes to find the coin.
Right, okay.
I'm on my next beer.
Are you picking heads or tails, mate?
Tails.
It is heads.
Oh, he gets the first pick.
Finally, mate. All right, I am going for Sterling.
You've gone for Sterling. Pope.
Good pick. Bruno.
Can't have him. Rashford.
All on my shortlist. Rashford. I'm just writing this down. Okay. Well, I would have gone DCL, but because we don't know about his injury status, I'm not gonna take a risk. So I will go with Richarlison. He's a forward, isn't he, in the game? Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Actually, I need to check his ownership.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what the I'm surprised the algorithm's coming out with that because he hasn't really had many returns.
Yeah, he's we'll talk about it. I'll highlight him, and then we can have a look at why it's picked that.
Richarlison is 4% owned. Okay, right. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Okay, and so now I'm on defender and goalkeeper. Goalkeeper, I will go with. I did have Pope, but you've taken Pope.
Surely there's only 2 other keepers, 3 other keepers.
Well, I can't choose Everton. I can't choose City. I can't choose Burnley. So I've got to go with Areola. And Areola it is.
And then so I've got Danny Ings.
Okay, and I'm going with Tarkowski.
And I have got everyone's favourite right back, Soufal.
Okay, so
All my players are under 15% owned. That's
really,
all of them. I've got one Loftus-Cheek's 0.2%.
so we've got you have Pope in goal, followed by Safal, Rashford, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and Danny Ings. So how many double game week is that? 1, 2,
Just 2.
2. Just 2. Wow. Okay. I have 4 double game weekers. So I've got Areola in goal, Tarkowski, Richarlison. Sorry, Bruno, Sterling, and Richarlison. You know what would be quite interesting is we always have, and as per my 5 have shown, we, as in FPL players, always have double game week kind of goggles on. And we kind of all like, oh yeah, I need to get double game weekers in. And we often miss out the good single game week assets. Like, you know, for this week, a lot of people are dismissing Bruno as a captaincy option, even though they're playing West Brom, because they want to go for the City double game week, etc. And I'm not saying it's a bad decision, but we're kind of dismissing that because we're kind of after the lure of double game week. And I've gone with 4 double game week because you've gone with 2. So it'll be really interesting to see actually, you know, did I make the right decision going for the double game weekers versus your good single solid game week options. So it'd be interesting to see what the planner what the scores are.
Yeah, it's I mean it's not the like most one like the fixtures are tricky for the double.
Yeah.
Like we'll bring them up. Although now with the potential of the injuries for Everton, I think that strengthens City's defence. But obviously that the algorithm doesn't see that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's whether I mean for City, it's probably the worst combination double game week that we could have got for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, I mean, everyone at the moment's got triple City. So, but I probably wouldn't captain a City player. I think your ceiling is actually higher with like Bruno.
Yeah.
Like Bruno was, I think he was second on my shortlist. But you obviously picked him. So my first choice ended up being Pope, because he was projected the second highest amount of anyone in the game, and it kind of that justifies everyone that's making that move that we normally frown upon, changing a keeper outside of a wild card. But that double game week for Burnley, like Palace away, and Palace have really struggled to score, and Fulham at home, and Fulham have really struggled. And like we know that Burnley's defence, like their defence hasn't been the problem. That's not the reason why they are where they are in the league. It's because they can't score goals.
Their defense against bottom half clubs is really, really good.
Especially with like me and Tarkovsky looking like they're back to their best. That's why Pope's such a great asset, because of the two centre halves in front of him. Strikers, they might get shots in at Pope, but they're generally tough shots to take, and Pope gets easy saves.
Yeah.
And yeah, he picks up the clean sheets as well, and I think it's gonna be a good week for him. But like personally, I can't. When I've got Martinez, who's away to Brighton, he could easily come up with another 9-pointer, and I can't justify moving Johnston to Pope
Why not?
because I'd still probably want to start Martinez
this weekend.
I'd potentially. I think I'd feel like I'm wasting the transfer going Johnston to Pope when I can make another move elsewhere.
You could quite easily get 18 points from Pope this weekend.
I could.
That's a transfer to me that I think is worth using. I'll be doing Johnston to Pope, and I'll probably be captaining Pope.
I'm not sure I'm wanting to do it. And
there's at least one clean sheet there. Yeah, like I'd be very, very surprised if they didn't get at least one clean sheet.
Yeah.
Right. So we know that Pope always hogs the bonus. You're probably not going to get many save points there, but we know that the way that because Burnley are so shit, like the rest of the team, he hogs the bonus points generally, and he gets when he keeps a clean sheet, gets between 7 and 9 points on average, right? So 8 points multiplied by 2, 16. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, there's other things I want to move around in my team, and I want that money because it's. I mean, how much is Pope at the moment?
5.5.
5.5. So
I'm guessing.
I'm spending $1 million and a transfer to bring him in. When
that's what I'll be doing.
I mean, that $1 million at the moment with how
we don't need it at the moment.
With how my plan looks like if De Bruyne's back in 26, I need that $1 million.
Yeah.
To get from Gundogan to De Bruyne. And it would,
I see. That's another interesting
or I need to
thing.
I need to chop and change elsewhere.
See, that's an interesting point, right? If KDB was back this weekend, I wouldn't buy him, even if I had the money there for him, because I don't see the point of taking out Gundogan for KDB at the moment.
Yeah, I mean that's
Gundogan's playing much better.
Yeah,
he's playing really
tricky.
well. There's no need to bring in KDB when you've got in there.
You're getting the value, aren't you, with Gundogan?
Yeah.
But then a lot of people are gonna be stuck with there'll be some people that have got the plenty of money there to make that move. A lot of people have gone onto the triple City defence, which is going to cost them the points to get there. I think the moment I hear Pep say he's back and he starts, he comes into my team. Yeah. Because I think for at least that 1 week, you've got arguably the best player in the Premier League as a differential.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, you're right.
And if he comes into that double game week in 26, where they'll play United, but then they'll play either Southampton or Wolves. Like he might not even not 26. He'll play West Ham, then either Southampton or Wolves, and even then 27 that double. So, and that's when we think he's going to be back around that time. And yeah, it's just I'd like to have that luxury of making that move, but I feel like I've got the Burnley cover in defence because I've got Loughton. So I don't need to go there. And then it's moving forward after that.
As I said earlier, I'm a kind of go hard or go
Yeah.
home type of manager, and that's why I want to go for the double defence. I'm probably not going to take a hit, so I've got 2 free transfers. I'll likely be doing Robertson to Tarkowski or me, and Johnston to Pope. Other option I have, and I'm considering it, is not bringing in Pope, but instead doing Sefal and Robertson to me and Tarkowski. Either way, I definitely want 2 Burnley defenders, whether that's 1 defender, 1 goalkeeper, or 2 defenders. I just got a feeling that Pope is going to blow off this weekend. I just got that feeling.
Personally, I'm wary with the plan moving forward.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
And although then they've got the good fixture in 25 as well. But then 26, 27, 28, you're not going to want to start a Burnley player. Like in 26, if you've got Martinez and Pope, you're starting Martinez.
Yep.
Then 27, even if it's a single game week, you've got Villa against Wolves and then Burnley.
But then you can
Arsenal.
just take Pope out, can't you? To a 4.0. Do you
but then
remember...
you're using another transfer to come off of him.
So
that's my point. If you're bringing him in, you're kind of committing to having him till the wild card. Otherwise, it's going to cost you 4 points to get him out.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a fair point.
That's my personal feeling on it. Like, I can't personally justify it, but yeah, you say that you really want to attack it, then I think for 24 and 25, yeah, he could outscore Martinez, but then after that, I don't think I don't want to play him over Martinez in the rest of the game weeks up until I wildcard in 30. And we know that Villa are quite likely to be playing Spurs in 29 as well. So you've got. I'm quite happy with just sitting there with Johnston and I'll probably even just go Martinez and steer from 30.
Okay, and then other fixtures. That's enough Burnley talk.
Sitting there, argued for 10 minutes about Burnley.
About Burnley. I guess it'll be a good time. We can really talk about what your plans are then this weekend. Then,
well,
not your plans in terms of like partying or anything like that.
I was going to say,
plans.
I'll get out of bed. I'll have a shower. I'll cook breakfast. And sit on the sofa and watch football.
Your wife will be happy you're cooking breakfast, mate.
Oh yeah, that's why I get to sit on the sofa and watch football in the afternoon and evenings. No, at the moment, let's go back to my team. At the moment, it could be Calvert-Lewin to Richarlison, and it could be Barnes to Rashford.
Okay, and who's your captain likely to be?
My captain will be Bruno.
Really? So you are going for a single game week captain?
I think his ceiling this week is up there. It's either going to be Bruno or Gundogan.
Okay.
because
For me,
I
yeah,
think
go on. Sorry.
I think Bruno outscores the City defenders, but it's whether he outscores Gundogan.
So for me, as I said, I'll be bringing in me or Tarkowski and most likely Pope, and I will most likely be captaining Pope or a City defender, but I'm not 100% sure. I need to kind of look at some more data, have a little bit more think about it, but that's probably what I'll be doing. Also, Antonio's injured, and I've got Antonio. Well, he might be injured. Wait to hear for some news on that. If he is, I'll likely be doing a -4 for Antonio for maybe Richarlison, potentially, if DCL's out. But or might take a punt on Cavani. But as we spoke about earlier, we just can't guarantee that he starts, right? So yeah, I'm not really sure. I think the next couple of days will be really important to decide. I think we'll wait till Friday, find out exactly what's happening with the doubles and that, and then I can start to decide what's going on.
Yeah, it's an absolute just head fuck at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, no,
I'm
exactly right.
trying to work it all out, and it's like with the added injuries and the possibility of injuries, and the fact that we might not even know what's going on. Like if we don't hear anything, then I have to take Calvert-Lewin out.
Yeah.
Like if I don't hear anything to tell me not to take him out, then I have to if there's no news, then it's not good news. And like, as we said before, if you're doing Calvert-Lewin to Richarlison, you're like there's no chance that if Calvert-Lewin comes back, Richarlison gets benched. Richarlison will still play. He just won't. He'll still play in his position where he plays on the left wing, but tries to go up front. And it's and tonight when Calvert-Lewin towards the end of the game, he was playing up front, wasn't he? With Sigurdsson,
Who?
just Richarlison.
Richarlison. Yeah, because DCL got taken off at 55 minutes.
Yeah, so Richarlison was playing up front with Sigurdsson just behind him. So yeah, I think that's pretty much nailed. I might even leave Barnes and Salah in and do Souček to Rashford, but yeah, it's just I think a lot of how if DCL's fit, then Salah and Barnes go this week. But if DCL's injured, then only one of them goes.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's pretty much a wrap on the pod. Is there anything else you want to add, Rob?
No, just for everyone just to keep an eye out for those presses on Friday, and feel free to drop us a message on Twitter. We'll obviously stick a tweet out about this pod, and if you've got any queries or anything, feel free to just drop a reply underneath.
And tune in next week because I'm sure it'll be an epic one with James on.
Yeah, next week, it's going to be. We can really, really get into the strategy of how we're going to play this out. Although the ball will kind of already be rolling, because we would have started looking at moving our team so that it's in a good place to move forward, as well as trying to attack these doubles, but also the doubles moving forward, and then the end game of the blank. For those that are for those that have got the free hit in hand, you're sitting quite pretty at the moment because it's pretty much worst case scenario of people like us that used the free hit early. There's the potential to be pretty much every blank that could have been a blank has happened. Pretty much. We wanted a couple more surprises, but it hasn't happened.
Right. So, thanks for tuning in. We are a new pod, so any feedback is really important to us. You can find us on Twitter at FPL_Happy Hour. We're also on a number of podcasts, including Spotify and our YouTube channel, FPL Happy Hour. Please like, subscribe, and share, and retweets are really appreciated. So until then, have a great game week, and may your arrows be green. Good night.
Cheers, everyone. See you later.